welcome back to another episode and another album review.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Oh, wait, I gotta turn you back on because you were washing your hands.
Okay.
This is going to be, we're going to be reviewing Playing Around by Ginge, the new album. And I just want to...
debut.
The new debut. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, though, if you want to hear our other stuff, you can follow us on YouTube at Game Rage Magazine. YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Follow Adam in this show at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, where you will likely hear the things that we say before the episodes come out, because that's how Adam rolls.
True story.
Also, if you like animes and mangas, you can go to the anime_syndicate_podcast, and you can listen to good buddy Frank and follow him on Instagram. All right. That's it. What do you got? Did you hear any new interesting facts today?
I did.
Oh, well, what may have you heard, good buddy?
Oh, I heard a statistic about Game Rage Magazine that you're 72% more likely to not get splashback when you piss in the toilet bowl, and therefore your significant other not getting mad. So there's that.
That's very interesting. You know, I was talking to my wife the other day, and she told me that ever since she started listening to Game Rage Magazine, she became much less likely to get mad at me for leaving the toilet seat up. So I did say, if you could put a percentage on that? And she's like, I think I only get mad at you about 20% of the time from before. So that means that if you listen to Game Rage Magazine, your wife is likely to be 80% less mad at you for leaving the toilet seat up.
It's a pretty good deal.
That's a sweet deal. And all for free, by the way.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's a true story. That is a true story. You don't want to be like those other guys who have...
They get divorced and eventually kill themselves.
And then their wife takes all their shit, and then they go fucking, they're living in, they're playing the divorced dad card game. And then they eventually just kill themselves, all right? You don't want to do that.
That's not a joke. There actually is a divorce.
Yes, that's real. Yeah, that's real. We need to get we need to go order some of that.
Yeah,
we need to do the pack openings or whatever. we should do that on a slice of dice. We should start doing that. Anyways.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. Well, I guess I'll start off with a brief introduction. So the way that I personally found Ginge was through this radio station called 3FM from the Netherlands, and this artist Ginge was featured on it. And this was, I think, either last year or the year before that I heard her, and I'm thinking, this is fucking good. Like, this is great. And I only recently found out this week that she came out with her debut album. So I was like, let's fucking throw this in the mix to mix it up between Julie and Ginger Root. And as I came to find out about the artist, she is in fact from the Netherlands. So she's a Dutch artist from the Netherlands, which is really interesting considering, well, I imagine the Netherlands has a lot of interesting people within their borders, because Amsterdam is kind of where a lot of people go for their recreational
drug use,
things, but also it's kind of known for its artistry as well. So it is rather surprising to see a Dutch artist doing R&B, because I don't really know what to expect from the Netherlands to begin with in terms of music, but the fact that this person does R&B/hip hop was rather surprising. And to have this debut album, man, I thought, fuck yeah, let's get in on somebody that's fairly new, debut album, so that we can say that we're on top of shit. So I guess we can get underway with this fucking album. So we'll start with the lead off track from the album called Playing Around. Let's see, what is the lead off track? Trampoline. So go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song, and we'll see you in a bit. All right, that was Trampoline. What do you have to say about the song?
I thought, okay, so overall on the majority of these tracks, I like the backing beat, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever the instrumental portion of the song is.
Yeah.
They do a pretty good job of, making that sound great.
Yes.
This first song, whatever the fuck that baby voice was, or whatever you want to call it at the
pitched
beginning,
up thing?
I hate that. I do not.
Oh, you
fucking
don't like
that.
it?
No,
Oh man,
I didn't like that, man. I was just
Kanye
like,
does it on some of his songs.
Who does?
Kanye West.
yeah, I did. It's not that I'm not a fan of it. I just don't generally like that. Like that,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I just don't like it. All right, I just didn't like it.
I didn't knock it for that.
I did knock it for that. So wasn't a fan of that. But I will say, and the reason why I think I'm not a fan of that, especially for her, is because she has such a great voice.
All right, will this change your mind?
All right, let me hear it.
Considering what the album is about, since you listen to it, playing around, implying that
Yes.
there's childlike innocence.
That's
Do you
where-
think it's kind of
Yes,
appropriate?
sure. I'm not gonna knock it for it being not appropriate. I just didn't think they should have had someone else do it. I feel, or they shouldn't have been like, because it was like featured at the very. It was like
It's
a
the
lot
first
of that
half.
whole
It was
first
the first
song.
half, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think that should. Maybe do it just at the beginning, make it part of the chorus. Maybe I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't need to hear it the whole goddamn song almost. All right, like that's
Okay.
especially because I was like, I literally said, Adam, if this fucking, I said to myself as I was listening, I said, Adam, as I'm speaking to you while I'm sitting in the garage, but you're not there. It's just me by
Not
myself.
physically there, not
And
tangibly there.
I'm looking where at the seat you would have been sitting in if we were recording, and I'm like, Adam, if this album is this bitch doing this the whole fucking time, I might fucking murder you. All right, that's what I said. And I will say I was pleasantly surprised when I heard, because her voice is angelic. It is fucking.
It's fucking good.
It hits, man.
Yeah, it does.
And but this first, I didn't like this. I didn't like that.
All right, that's fair.
Anyways,
That's
go
fair.
ahead. Let's hear what you got.
Okay, opening track starts off great. Ginge's vocals are pitched up. I like the twinkly keys and traditional piano. The tone of the guitar is sounds just as warm as the keys. It's like that jazz guitar that you would like kind of hear from that genre, or even
Yeah.
R&B in general too.
Yeah.
But pitched up vocals is for the childlike innocence of love. Compares love to playground. That special someone is like a trampoline or whatever. Going, I guess from what I took away from the song is that they're going all in on this relationship.
Yeah.
And it was just a great track. I loved it.
Yeah. Other than the baby voice, I thought the track was great.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and go to the next track, which is On Paper, and go ahead and cue up the song and then pause the program. All right, we're back. This is On Paper from Ginge off of the album called Playing Around. I had written down that track has a lo-fi hip hop beat to it. Reminds me of Erykah Badu. Simple song with just keys and drum pad. Concerns about being in a relationship that's good, but what happens in the afterwards. The song opens up at the midpoint. I wrote down the song opens up at the midpoint with real subtle chimes during the chorus, somewhere around the chorus. And I thought the chimes kind of simulated the daydreaming, through the instrument.
Yeah.
And also like kind of, to talk about being in the part of the relationship. It's like, oh man, this is so great, but when the fuck is it gonna go wrong? Like Murphy's fucking long.
Yeah. I did think that the beats were good on this one. This song to me, this is where I started to feel like and see, okay, this is going to be kind of reminiscent of your typical kind of late 90s, early 2000s R&B pop type kind of stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if, because it's classified at least under Apple as neo soul.
Neo soul.
I don't really think this is soul, to be honest with you. I think it's more R&B. Like I said, it's that early 2000s kind of, like you said, that Erykah Badu, that fucking, I don't know, maybe like a Macy Gray kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like that's what I get out of this.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that it's bad. I think she, unlike Julie, I think she does a better job of not just imitating and just flat out stealing it. She's kind of adding something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that aspect of it. But yeah, this song, this felt like, okay, cool. This is starting to get into this mode of, this is kind of like maybe your typical kind of what you would expect from like an R&B type of album.
Yeah. I mean, how much could you really expect about an R&B album to be world changing or
nothing.
groundbreaking. Like you know what you're expecting from certain genres, and like you can't.
It's R&B. It's literally it's rhythm and blues. It's some sad kind of like relationship shit. It's more than likely what you're gonna get out of it, or some kind of sad shit that's in an upbeat fucking maybe background beat. Like that's what you're gonna get, and this is what they're giving you.
Yeah.
So
I don't have anything else to add for that track, but we'll go ahead and get to the third track, which is Merry Go Round. So go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song. All right, we're back. This is Merry Go Round from Ginge off of her debut album called Playing Around. What do you got for us for this track?
Wait, this is track 3, right?
Track 3.
Okay,
Merry Go Round.
For this one, so there was this really cool effect that happened where it did this thing where it was like panning. It felt like it was panning in and out of like the left ear. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit. That's cool. That is a cool little fucking effect that really, it gave the song dimension. Like, it's fucking strange, right? Like,
yeah, because it's like, you can't grab music.
You can't, but it felt like I could. I don't know. It was like, it felt like, oh shit, this is fucking cool. So I felt like that was a really prominent portion of the song. I enjoyed the song, but that was to me the thing that stood out the most.
Okay.
What do you got?
I wrote down, I dig the wordplay on merry-go-round. I forget what that is in a playground, but merry-go-round. Is that
like a merry-go-round is that little circular thing that you spin on?
Yeah, merry-go-round implying Mary is fucking up with relationships, but it's also referring to the theme of the album revolving around playgrounds or even being childlike. I like the harmony in the beginning. Nice to hear the bass in the foreground. Bit of a change in mood, more somber. Talking about the moments in a relationship you experienced numerous times, referring to, when you break up with somebody, you start a new relationship, that you kind of go through the motions of certain aspects of a new relationship, I suppose. I know that's kind of vague, but you keep doing that thing like numerous times. Whatever.
Right, it's the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing multiple times expecting a different result, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like what I kind of got out of it.
I hope it works this time.
Yeah.
Talking about, I already read that. This probably is the best chorus I've heard yet on this album. Have no idea what it says because I didn't have the lyrics available to me. The harmonies on the callbacks and the vocals for the chorus, I think that was kind of the thing that stood out to me, was that this track had the strongest chorus in it. And then I wrote down, this song has oomph to it. Like it's got like, I don't know, man. I just wrote down oomph. You kind of get what I'm, hopefully you guys get what you're saying. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move our way towards the fourth track of the album, which is Rascapalian. Wait, did I?
Rapscallion.
Rascapalian.
Rascapalian? Was it like a new species of fucking lizard? And today we have found a new species. Game Rage magazine named it the Rascapalian.
Oh my god, dude! I had a fucking fucking episode of dyslexia or some shit. Rapscallion. All right, so that is the fourth track on the album. Go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song. Go ahead and play it. All right, that was Rapscallion. So I wrote down, all the songs have real clean tones to like the instruments. Slowest song yet, about your little bastard or little rascal scamp in your life that annoys you but makes your life spicy. Another part in the second portion of the song, the cymbals are rattled and guitar gets warbly. I don't know. I didn't really know how else to word it. But I did like the part where she said, "You make me want to scream." Can't tell if that was a scream or like a guitar shred or whatever the fuck that was. There's a part where the piano scales, not a noun, but a verb, like the piano scales.
Yeah.
Like it
goes up. Yeah.
It goes up and down. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's fucking rad. So I enjoyed this track.
I had said that so far this is the best song that out of the first quarter of the album or whatever, this was the best song so far. They did this little, it was kind of, I don't know what to call it, but it's like a little droppy beat. Like it kept dropping out. Like the floor kept dropping out. Yeah. And that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
they also changed the tempo kind of the song. Like, I think it was like every third of the song, like the beat would kind of drop out again, and then the tempo would change. And that was cool. That was really a really cool effect.
Yeah.
And I felt like that only just enhanced everything.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that track.
I got nothing else to add. So we'll get to track 5, which is Poof from Ginge off of Playing Around. Let's go ahead and pause the program and then play the track. All right, we're back. So this is Poof from Ginger Root. Ginge. What do you have to say about it?
This song, to me, I felt like this song was just kind of meh. It was kind of
I
like,
felt the same way.
I literally wrote meh. Like, that's what I wrote.
I said, this song was all right, not my favorite. A lot of onomatopoeias.
Yes.
Yeah,
I just, I guess the song title, Poof, sure, that's an onomatopoeia, so like, okay, I get it. But man, nothing too. That song didn't have much to it. I just was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it didn't really do anything for me either. But I will say, I think my retardation is so severe that I couldn't even spell onomatopoeia. I had to look it up. I'm like, I thought it was onomatopoeia, but it's automatopoeia.
Automatopoeia.
Yeah. And then also the last part, Pia, has a fucking O in it for some reason. Like
Jesus Christ, what?
Instead of PEIA, it's POEIA.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. So I hate English, man.
Reaffirming that English is just fucking complete nonsense.
It is. It is the worst language, man. God damn.
All right, so we'll get to track number 6, which was Glucose. So
yeah, Glucose.
Go ahead and pull that song up and pause the program. All right, we're back. That was Glucose from Ginge. I'll go ahead and lead off. I wrote down talking about love as if it were sugar. Has a sweet tooth for love, knows it can be unhealthy for her. Funkiest song yet. There's been a nice mix of beats in all the songs. This album isn't monotonous. There's syncopation in the background with the beeping woody noise. Like there's like it's like a meter kind of like a the guitar tone I think is on the jazzy side in most cases, has a flanger effect. Sometimes also. Referring to like the album in its entirety up until this point, talking about a guy she likes as refined, like refined sugar was funny. I like that.
Yeah. So this song and then track number 8, these are the songs of the diabetes variety, is what I refer to them.
I wrote something about diabetes here. I was like,
I get it, right? But this song was fine. I didn't have any issues with the song. But then she says there's a line in this song, like it's talking about like it's like cotton candy or something, and she repeats that line again in that glucose or no insulin. Yeah, she repeats that a similar line, and I was kind of like, uh-oh. Are the grounds starting to shake? Are we running out of shit to talk about where you're now repeating lines? I don't know.
The honeymoon phase.
Is this where it falls apart? Like, but yeah, no, this song was not this song. I liked this song. I felt like it had a nice little kind of, it was more of a poppy beat to it, I guess, or a poppy feel to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was all right. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I dug it a lot. So we'll get to track 7, French in School.
French in high school. French in high school.
Oh, French in high school. I forgot a word. I did this at like, I don't know when I listened to this album, but I was fading out.
Yeah.
But luckily I wrote notes. I wrote notes. French in High School, track 7 from Ginge. Go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song. All right, we're back. I'm going to start first because this track actually gave a lot of bonus points for whatever reason. But I wrote down, song makes me think of Josh and Katie in Spanish class.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is a very cool track. I wrote down this sounds. Did I write down this sound or song is hilarious? I think I meant the song is hilarious. No, yeah, it was song. This song is hilarious for the reason that it talks about not knowing what you're saying in French, but the sentiments being there about like, nostalgic for high school or nostalgic for love in high school, not the same as being in love as an adult. Like there's something about it. Like there's more innocence to it. Whereas like being an adult and in love, it's like there's many things attached to it, like money, all the responsibilities and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's more innocent in high school. And I wrote down that it was the first song that we get horns. So what did you have to say about the track?
Yeah, I wrote the same thing. Like, this reminds me of me and Katie in high school in Spanish class.
Omelette de fromage.
Yeah. And like, yeah, basically. Except like, obviously, like, we weren't, together in high school, right?
No.
But, like, it makes me think like, oh man, like you were talking about the difference between love in high school and love as an adult. Like, I like listening to this song, like, I realize now back then, like, oh, I've been in love with her since high school. I just didn't know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't fucking know I was in love with her when we were in high school.
Yeah.
But having, been back together with her now, over fucking a decade, it's just like, oh yeah, of course. Like, of course this was just meant to fucking be this way.
Yeah.
So yeah, this score, yeah, you're right. It did have the horns. I liked the addition to the horns with this. It was great because it gives you. I mean, I don't know if they were French horns, but it would make fucking sense if it was
would
French
be funny,
horns,
yeah.
because that would, the song's about French. But yeah, this is another enjoyable track.
Yeah, I gave it bonus points actually.
Yeah, I gave it bonus points too.
All right, so we're working our way towards track 8, which is Insulin. So go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song. All right, we're back. So this is Insulin. So some of the things I had written down was I was waiting for a song called Diabetes.
Yep. I said, oh, here we go. Here's another song about diabetes.
Yeah, so stripped down R&B guitar and vocals. The sugar high of a relationship has dulled out.
Yeah.
Breaking down the sweetness like insulin. That's all I had written down.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, because Frank always says this shit about how me and Katie are the ones that gave him diabetes because we're so sweet, right? So that was like that first insulin, that first portion of it. And then we get the second portion, like glucose or whatever, or
Yeah.
insulin. I mean, the first song was glucose. This one's insulin.
Yeah.
Now this is like, oh, it's worn off. Like the sugar high has now been defeated by the honeymoon stage has been defeated by the reality of the quote unquote insulin,
Yeah.
or the reality hitting
Yeah.
you of like, oh man, like,
Is this good or not?
Is this,
Like,
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah.
but that was pretty funny. So I did enjoy that song as well.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
So working our way toward track number 9, Incapable. So go ahead and cue up the song and go ahead and pause the program. Incapable from Ginge. So for this song, I wrote down Ginge has quite the vocal range, goes high and low like a roller coaster. And not just for this song, but just kind of in general.
Yeah.
She can be soft and sensual, but also a vocal powerhouse. In the rough, I wrote down that this song felt like it was the rough patch of the relationship. Can't even be in the same space, because they were talking about like, oh, I love you through text, but when we're in the same space, it feels fucking weird or something
Yeah.
along those lines for the lyrics.
Yeah.
So what did you have to say about the song?
Yeah, this one, I kind of did feel like this one was a little starting to kind of sound a little bit like your typical. This was like a typical R&B song, right? And
Yeah.
it kind of was like in terms of like the backing track or whatever. I felt like, yeah, her vocal range, like she's kind of expressing that she has these, this range or whatever, like we had talked about. But this song was kind of just all right. I wasn't like super high on it. It wasn't terrible by any stretch, but it was just kind of like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's all I got.
So we got track number 10, which is called Rush. So go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song. All right, now we're back with Rush. You go ahead and start off.
Yeah. So for this one, I felt like it changed up the tone a little bit of the progression of this album. And to me, I wrote down, this song has commercial potential. I feel like this song,
I thought it was really good.
I enjoyed it. I felt like this would be perfect for a rom-com or like a chick flick of some type. This being like in the montage of their relationship or something,
Or
man.
fuck, it could be just the person walking down the street,
Yeah.
like in New York
Yeah.
or some shit.
Perfect. Like this song has, I feel like, the most value right here. But this was a great song. I enjoyed it.
I wrote down this song has a diggable planets feel. Records record scratches slap. Where are those at in fucking music? I love fucking record scratches. The delivery at the midpoint with the stalwart cadence when she starts like she says like one word at a time, but it's kind of like a monotonous tone.
Right.
Like, that's cool. I don't know why I thought it was cool, but
that was cool.
Yeah, big ups for this song. So we are getting towards the last bit of the album, and we have track number 11. I think this was my personal favorite track, Summer 22 from Ginge. So go ahead and pause the program and cue up the song. All right, we're back. So I'll go ahead and take the lead on this one.
Yeah.
Love how the drums sound on this track. The way the instruments are arranged were cool. We got drums and keys, then the keys laid off. Now the guitar comes into the fold. So there was a portion in the very beginning of the intro where it was just like keys and drums for a minute.
Yeah.
And then the keys get pulled back and then the fucking guitar comes in. I'm like, I fucking like that.
Yeah.
Almost all the songs melodically are infectious. Well, at least that's what I wrote down. One of the best parts in the song is when she says, I didn't think I'd mean it, but it was like the beats, all the instruments synced up with what she was saying. I'm like, fuck, that's orgasmic to my fucking ears, dude.
Yeah.
I love this song.
Yeah, this song was great. I thought that it was like, especially at this back end of the album, to have this song on here it's different enough to where, okay, we know we're getting towards the end, but like you just hit us with something different than kind of what the rest of the album was a little bit. And then we get into like the next song. I feel like, well, we'll get into the next song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this song. The song was great. I enjoyed it.
Okay, so
Track number 12.
Track number 12.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's cue it up. Track number 12. Think about it. Pause it now. All right, we're back. Track number 12. Think about it. This track, like I was saying, this one slowed it down. I felt like this was like, okay, we're getting ready for the end of the album. We're getting ready for the apex here or whatever, the ending. Now, I do think that this song this is like perfect for like the end credits of like a movie, of like a fucking, like as the credits roll, this song starts playing at the last sequence and then the last scene and then boom, the credits roll, and this is throughout the credit. This song is fucking perfect for that. What did you think about it?
I wrote that the song is sad. She spilled her guts to someone, and it seems as though this person doesn't feel the same. There was this I wrote down looped percussion meter, because there was like this beeping noise in the background. The last bit sounds like a tape machine was put in a corner, possibly portraying her isolation. So there's a part of the song on the back end where the song stops and then it sounds like somebody just put a tape machine in the corner and she's recording maybe even this song, like just that person made her feel this way. So she wrote this song, but then somebody threw in this like tape machine recording on top of I don't know. I thought it was a nice little touch. It felt kind of fucking meta.
Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty cool. I agree. What else? You got anything else?
No, that was it.
All right, so then we get into the final track number 13, the butterfly, it's just butterfly effect. Butterfly effect. God, I am fucking so retarded, man. I can't.
Butterfly effect.
But I can't even say it now. Fuck yeah. All right. Pause the thing and go listen to it.
Right.
All right.
Oh shit!
What?
I interrupted the pause.
Who cares?
Yeah,
People are gonna pause it and just fucking keep going anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was Butterfly Effect.
Track number 13.
The final song. What did you think about this one?
So this song I think was excellent in that when you kind of this album didn't putter out or peter out at the end. It went explosive, it went grandiose, it went bombastic, it fucking went for the fences. It was awesome. I like the song that it opens with a string section. The chorus feels gigantic. Excellent for a final track. Being thankful for a relationship, even if it failed. I think also My conclusion for this album is that Playing Around has like maybe a triple or double entendre. That Playing Around, in that it seemed like there was an innocence to this relationship that Ginge had with somebody else.
Yeah.
But also possibly that she also got played and that this person was playing around with her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I forgot what the third meaning I kind of gathered. Or maybe it was a situationship. They were both fucking and they enjoyed their time together and it didn't really work out for either of them. So that's kind of like what I took away from the title of the album. But I enjoyed this thing quite a bit. I was actually surprised how many great songs were put together for this album. Even though I already kind of knew I would have enjoyed Ginge to begin with, like I just didn't know like how many good songs. Because you know, like when you listen to an album, most of the times you only get 3 or 4 songs
that are good,
and then the rest kind of feels like filler. Right. This felt consistently good all the way through. So
yeah, and this song also to me, I feel like this song's gonna be in a fucking rom-com for sure. Like I do think that Ginge has a shit ton of commercial value.
Oh yeah,
in terms of this album. Oh yeah, and the tracks that she's produced on it. Final score. What are you fucking rocking in at?
All right, I gave it a 9 to 9.5. There was a few songs that I wasn't wholeheartedly sold on, but there was enough bangers there consistently throughout. The background, or rather the instrumentals, the production, the mixing, all of it fucking slapped. The wordplay was clever. Ginge got to showcase her awesome vocals, or her vocal range. I mean, she took us on a fucking trip, and it was a home run for me.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I gave it a solid 9 out of 10. I felt like almost every track was fucking great. Minus, obviously, I gave it a little down points for that little baby voice thing in the beginning that I hate. But other than that, everything was very well put together. It was very well produced. I mean, her voice is fucking excellent. She has a great range. And I just think it's fucking great. This was her, obviously, debut album, which I didn't even fucking know that. But I am looking forward to seeing what she's going to fucking put out in the future. So we shall stay tuned, I guess, for Ginge. And also, I mean, she's a fellow Ginger, so I gotta fucking give it props. And I will say
that did not influence.
I will say that it did not influence my score at all. Okay, the gingerness, all right, because
and I also didn't do it because she's Ginger. I just did it because I liked her music. This was not for you to get persuaded or anything. I just did it because I wanted to.
Yeah, and I didn't think I was. This is not my typical shit that I listen to, so I was surprised that. Again, if you can pull me in and get me to enjoy it, then cool. Like, you did your job. Good work.
All gas, no trash, fun time, excellent album review.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Anyways, all right. You got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, that's the end of it. If you want to listen to our other shit, you can go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine there. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Additionally, if you're listening, you might as well go follow Adam on Instagram at All Gas No Trash Official. It's the goddamn namesake of the show. Jesus Christ. Just fucking give him a follow. Give us a follow. And if you like anime and mangas from the Japans, you can go and listen to the Anime Syndicate podcast, and you can follow good buddy Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram.
The government's lying to you. The government's lying to you. They're putting something in the water to turn the frogs gay.
The frogs have been turned gay. All right, if you want to hear about the frogs turning gay, you can go to NPP or the CUP and listen there, and we'll talk about that. Anyways, all right, that'll do it for us. We'll catch you guys on the next one.